Yesterday there was chaos on most of the campuses here in South Africa, but the one we turn our attention to now is the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University campus. This, of course, as a result of the National Fees campaign. In a bid to calm the situation and get teaching and learning back on track, the university authorities called for a dialogue with students for a little bit later on today. It's to be held at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. It's happening at 1 o'clock. Let's find out more about the situation there. Our reporter on the scene, who is there to give us an update, is Abongile Dumako. Abongile, thank you for talking to us here on the program and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Liam.
All right, so just we know there are talks today, but let's go back in time a little bit. Talk us through when the protest started. How has it been at NMMU?
Of course, the protest started the day before yesterday in the evening when students who stormed at a function that was actually taking place at the NMMU, sort of expressing their dissatisfaction onto the proposed 6% on the fees increase. We've seen yesterday morning quite an extensive of violence that we witnessed here at this very traffic circle we are standing in here at the entrance of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro University, where hundreds of students were actually shot at by police using rubber bullets and had used stun grenades to disperse an angry crowd who were refusing to let any entrance or exit within and around the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro University. Well, the protest went on throughout the whole day yesterday until in the afternoon when students decided to disperse and go to prepare for another march that we are told is going to take place from right at this campus all the way to the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium across town, where a dialogue is scheduled to take place between the school's management and, of course, the students at large to discuss and find a solution as to what could be done to sort of come to an agreement as to what's going to happen in as far as fees are concerned within this institution.
Let's get the picture again, because the picture that's emerging from all of the universities is that as much as they do want to engage in discussions, they have got one proposal, and their proposal is a zero fee hike for the 2016 year. Is that the same position at NMMU? Are they also wanting no fee hikes?
Here at the NMMU, I would say it's more or less the same as what is happening across the country. Students here are refusing to accept any increase on fees here at the school. They are saying that they want the 0% increase because they simply cannot afford any further increase, because fees are already high up in the sky for them, especially for those who are from this part of the country, which is predominantly rural and, of course, poverty prevalent across the province. So many parents are simply not going to afford these fee increases. As a result, yesterday we had an opportunity to speak to one of the parents here. She actually works at NMMU. She says that she's in solidarity as well with the students, because she as an ordinary worker here finds it difficult to afford to pay the fees. So if there's a 6% increase, it's going to be quite a mouthful for her to be able to sustain or maybe see a child graduating here at NMMU. So I would say across the board there's a lot of reluctance in as far as allowing this proposed 6% increase on the fees here at NMMU.
Yeah. The talks that are happening today, would this be, obviously I imagine because it's at the stadium, all of the students that want to be present can be present, but the main talks, are they happening between the SRC and the university management? Do you know if the department is going to be a part of these, the Department of Education?
My understanding is that right now, behind closed doors, the SRC, in fact, the student organizations that we've got here at NMMU, that is now your SC, DASO and, of course, SASCO, are meeting with the management to sort of give him a brief as to what is going to happen across the day in as far as preparing for the meeting is concerned that is taking place there at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Every student is welcome there to attend because, as it turns out, they are a united front, and this challenge faces all students from across the province and, of course, across the country as well. So the meeting is really currently taking place between senior management, mid-management and the SRC leadership to find a solution, or maybe to table an agenda on what are some of the points that they're going to have to tackle in as far as the dialogue that is to take place is concerned this afternoon.
I mean, There were certainly some dramatic scenes that came out of NMMU yesterday and the day before when this all started. And the reports that initially came out, I mean, you were talking about rubber bullets being fired, even some reports of tear gas being fired at some of the students. Let's just talk about the condition that some of those students are in, because earlier reports had suggested that 3 students were injured. Do you have an update on them? How are they doing?
Basically, one of the students who were injured, we spoke to yesterday, Nokolo Koko, she was actually fine. She was determined to soldier on in as far as fighting for what she believes is a right to her is concerned. She didn't show any signs of being sort of deterred in as far as her being shot on the thigh yesterday. So she's one of those that have been injured who have actually shown the courage to make it a point that the message is being sent across that no fee hike from the 2016 academic year. Basically now, in as far as what was happening here is concerned, we spoke to the police and they actually were saying that they felt that they needed to sort of take action as students were showing signs of being reluctant to the instruction that they were given, that was to allow everybody to move in and around the institution without having to be disturbed by the students. But however, we haven't seen any of that sort thus far this morning. It's more or less business as usual. We're seeing students being dropped off by taxis going to class, and of course general workers entering the premises as per normal.
Abongile, thank you very, very much. Abongile Dumako, an SABC reporter, he's out there reporting on the situation at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, and we'll follow that story. 1 o'clock, we've got the SRC students and the upper and mid management of the university expected to meet to have some discussions on that salary. All right.